Yo, what's up? What are you doing? Some HIIT. How about you? Steady state. Wow. We're going to explore the great debate: high intensity interval training versus low intensity steady state. Which is better? Why should you do one? How do you decide between the two? HIIT versus LISS. HIIT, or high intensity interval training. Typically, the intensity is over 80%, in the range, most commonly 85 to 95%. Your work time is less than or equal to 4 minutes, generally in the 30 seconds to 4 minute range, shying more towards the lower end of that. Rest is going to be between passive and active, with sets ranging from 4 to 12. LISS, low intensity steady state. Less than 70%, usually in the 50 to 65% range. Commonly over 20 minutes, generally the 30 to 45 minute range. Rest, there isn't any. Sets, 1. One of the common claims is that low intensity steady state is the better option between the two because it utilizes fat as its primary substrate. This is where the fat burning zone comes in. With fat as the primary source for energy, it's believed that this helps in weight loss. On the flip side, people will claim that HIIT is actually the better option. Instead of focusing on fat burning, it goes to a higher energy expenditure, burning off more total calories in a given time period. So we have to ask ourselves, are these claims true? Which is the right one? Should you go with high intensity interval training or low intensity steady state? Now we got to consider EPOC. This is one of the common claims in support of high intensity interval training, and it's a valuable consideration, but it's often overblown. When you look at the oxygen consumption across time, you will usually see that with steady state intensity, you have this sharp drop off once you finish the activity. In contrast, with high intensity interval training, you have this extended duration of oxygen consumption after the activity, which in theory increases the amount of calories you'll burn. However, this is very flawed. If we're looking at weight loss, it comes down to increasing the amount of calories burned. High intensity interval training, at the end of the day, is interval training. When you look at the calories burned across time, you're going to have these spikes and valleys, which is often neglected in the conversation. In the contrast, you have LISS, where you're going to have a steady amount of calories burned across time. Overall, when you compare the spikes and valleys versus the steady pace, they're going to equal out across time. If you do one for 40 minutes versus another for 40 minutes, you will likely burn a very similar amount of calories overall. There's going to be more factors to consider, which we need to break down now. Usually, HIIT is claimed to be faster than LISS. So let's break this down. If you're going to aim to burn 600 calories in a given session, with HIIT, you might do 30 seconds on, with 2 minutes, 30 seconds of rest. During the 30 seconds, you're going to push it and burn 20 calories. During the rest, you're going to coast and only burn 40 calories. So you're going to have 60 calories burned per set. If we're going to do 600 calories, with 60 calories per set, that's going to take you 10 sets. 10 sets at 3 minutes per set, that's going to do 30 minutes. If we compare this with the LISS, you're going to have 600 calories at a pretty steady pace of 20 calories per minute. You're going to do 600 calories with a 20 calorie per minute average. That's going to be 30 minutes. At the end of the day, the length of the session is not necessarily going to be drastically different between HIIT and LISS. There are a lot of other factors to consider beyond just these ones. For instance, which do you find more enjoyable and have more fun doing? A lot of individuals will report that HIIT is way more fun. Going hard, pushing themselves, getting that edge of where you're going to break, versus other people who enjoy the coasting and just cruising through. Deciding which one you enjoy more is a valuable consideration. For some individuals, pushing hard on high intensity interval can also increase their appetite. So you might find that by doing the high intensity intervals, you might burn more calories, but you might also eat more calories as an offset. Another consideration is that high intensity interval training is a lot more fatiguing for most people than low intensity steady state. So if you are going through and doing high intensity interval training, you might find that it competes with how much recovery you can have for your other training. If you're a person who pushes hard in the gym, that might interfere with your ability to then lift heavy. When you compare HIIT versus LISS, it really comes down to what are you trying to get from it. If it's just a matter of burning calories, you can pick either. If instead you're trying to develop energy systems, work on improving your capacity, etc., that's going to be dependent upon your sporting demands and more variables, which we're going to cover in future videos. Look at the various factors that contribute to it, such as the fatigue that's associated with HIIT or the enjoyment that you might have, and try to choose the one that's best for you. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Make sure you hit that like button down below, subscribe for more content, and let us know in the comments what you'd like in future videos. See you later.
And we are Citizen Athletics.